Hello. Or should I say, howdy. Yes. Today, me, Jackson, I'm gonna talk to you about some stuff. Some spooky stuff. Anyway, we're gonna talk about some movies this month. I thought it would be fun since it's October, let's talk about some scary movies. So I've picked out 5 of my favorites, and throughout the remainder of this month, we are going to talk about each one of them. And today, got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And look at Leatherface right there. Doesn't he look so nice? Looks so nice there. Yeah, this is the 1974 original, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And yeah, it's not the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's not the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's not Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's not Texas Chainsaw. It is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So just in case there was any confusion, just wanted to clear that up for you. This is the 1974 original, Tobe Hooper. And I just gotta say, what a film. What a movie. What an experience. This is something, the first time I watched it, I was like, man, I haven't been scared by a movie in a while. And this is scary. It messes you up a little bit, but in a good way. Like, it's one of those movies I'm like, because it feels real. And those are the kind of things that really scare me, is if it feels like that could happen. That is a real scenario that could happen. It's something I don't want to ever happen, but it easily could. And I feel like that's part of why it's so scary to me. But another thing that I think this movie does so well with is it makes you think it's a lot worse than it actually is. By that I mean, like, when I've watched this with other people, they come out of it and they're like, man, that was a really gory, messed up, disturbing movie. And the funny thing about it is there's not a lot of gore. There's blood here and there, and there is some very disturbing moments, but it's really not that gory. Like, yeah, people die in it. There are like parts where people get sliced with the chainsaw, or the one chick gets hooked up on the meat hook while she's still alive. Like, those kind of scenes, it's like, watching that, it's like, that just happened? Holy crap. And it really leaves an impression in your brain that it was a lot worse than it was. And yeah, that's just something this movie does very well. It puts things into your head that you're not actually seeing. That's so amazing to me. When movies can do that, that just means it's a good movie, because it's not relying on cheesy special effects or whatever. The story, it pulls you in. You feel connected with some of the characters. Some of them you're like, okay, you can die. I don't care if you die. But it pulls you in, and you're like, man, that's just crazy. Again, because it feels so real. And that's just one thing I love about this movie. And another thing I really like about this movie is that there's like no sex or nudity, and there's like very little language. And that's something that I think if you can make a good movie and you don't have to pump it with a bunch of crap like that, then you're good at what you do, You're good. It's a good movie. That's why I recommend this movie to a lot of people if you're trying to get into horror, because it's very mild in all the typical horror cliches, right? Like, oh, you have sex, you're dead. Drink, you're dead. No, nobody's throwing out F-bombs every 2 minutes, but it's still scary, and it's a fun watch. And again, it messes you up in a good way. And when you're done watching it, you're gonna be like, man, I don't want to go through that, but it was entertaining. So, this is the 40th anniversary release of the film, And I got this at a little store called Walmart. You probably haven't heard of it, but they have a lot of movies there. So I think it's fun whenever I get a DVD. I think it's fun to read through the back. So let's do that real quick. Right here we have some reviews. We got the most horrifying motion picture I have ever seen, says Rex Reed. Yeah, you're not too far off. It's a scary one. And we got here, still packs the same punch it did when it first changed the face of horror, says IndieWire. Man. Facts. Straight facts. Whenever I watch this movie, I feel like I just got punched. But in a good way. Now, let's get into the description on here. Let's see. Yeah, 40 years ago, 5 youths on a weekend getaway in the Texas countryside fell prey to a butcher in a mask made of human skin and his cannibalistic family. Ooh. And horror cinema would never be the same. Violent, confrontational, and shockingly realistic, director Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chain Saw Massacre terrified audiences in a way never thought possible when it was unleashed on a politically and socially tumultuous America in 1974. Man, what a mouthful. Get ready to experience fear in a whole new way. Well, what a movie. I just gotta say, this is truly a good movie. It's a good movie. And it makes you feel things you didn't know you could feel sometimes. It's similar to falling in love. Now, I'm not saying I'm in love with this movie, but it's really good. That being said, if this movie was a person, I think I would stay far away from it. But 2 thumbs up. I would give this 5 stars because it's truly a masterpiece. And if you're just getting into horror, or you're wanting to get into horror, I recommend this. It's a great watch. It's fun. Watch it with a group of people at some point in your life. It's fun to do that. That was probably my favorite watching experience because it's fun to watch their reactions and get all disturbed and crap. It's just fun. But yeah, it's good. It's mild. Like, I'd say of the horror movies on this list, this is the most family friendly. I don't recommend young kids watch this. I don't recommend young kids watch any of these, but watch it at some point in your life. That's about all I have to say about this movie. And yeah, the Texas Chain Saw Massacre. This is probably backwards, but it says the Texas Chain Saw Massacre. And yeah, 5 stars out of 5, 10 out of 10. I'll leave you with this. The cinematography in this is pretty amazing. If anything, watch it for the cinematography, but it's just a fun movie. It's a really fun movie. So yeah, I recommend, a million times recommend, and I will be watching this soon again. So I hope you enjoyed my little rant, review, conversation, little talk thing. I guess I'll see you in the next one. Adios.